How are you doing? Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. I am your personal guide on the journey of growth. How are we today? Please do let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. I can see that I'm live on Instagram. Please let me know on Facebook if you can hear me. I see we are live on Facebook. Let me just check. Okay. Okay, I can't. I don't know why this thing is always an issue. Okay, let me see. Please let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so it was. I don't know why this mic is always misbehaving with Facebook. All right, so we are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. All right, how are you doing? Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. I am your personal guide. I'm your personal guide on this journey of growth. I can see one person has joined on Facebook. Please put a okay. I can I'm still working out the kinks in this. I can see your comments on Facebook, but I can't see it on the app I'm using. I can't see it on the app I'm using. So okay, that's fine. That's fine. So welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. Once again, I am your personal guide on the journey of growth. All right, so we have been on this discussion about our financial state, financial planning. Let me set up my tablet so that I can see my notes. We were talking about financial planning and budgeting for the past, I think this is the fourth session we're having on this topic. Please let me know, say hello on Facebook, say hello on Instagram. Let me use my phone and see what's happening over there. Let me use and see what's happening because I still need to work out why the messages are not getting through to the app that I'm using to stream. For some reason, the messages are not coming through, so I can't see your messages. Okay. Let me use and see what's happening because I still need to work. All right. Okay. So this is session 96. Very, very excited to know that this is session 96 of Growth Habits with Ngozi. We have we have come a long way. 96 sessions. Is it not just amazing? It is amazing to me that we have gotten to 96 sessions. I never thought it would be possible. I really did not. So this is session 96. We'll soon get to our 100th session. Honestly, this is amazing to me. Honestly, it's amazing to me. So okay. All right. Okay. Just wanted to be sure we are also live on Instagram. Yes, we are live on Instagram. All right. So, session 96. We started off this discussion this year talking about, managing our finances, talking about financial planning and budgeting. The first session we had was to assess our current situation. Where are you currently in your finances? Where are you currently? What is your current position in your finances? And we looking at your assets, your liabilities, your net worth. Those are the things we looked at on that first session. And we tried to define those terms in layman's terms, not, big grammar like we're used to. That's what accountants used to confuse people sometimes. And remember that I'm an accountant, so we use all those big grammar to confuse people sometimes when we are discussing basic issues. So, okay, there's somebody that Let me just send that person a message quickly. Wanted me to remind them when we go live today. Uh, just give me 1 minute. Let me just send them a message. I think I can copy. Let me see. I should be able to copy the live and send to them. My apologies for this short break in transmission. Okay, let me see if I can copy. Yeah, copy this link and send to them. Okay. All right. So we started, as I said, our first session talking about the current financial situation where you are. And we said that to determine where you are, you have to look at your assets, look at your liabilities, and then consider and calculate your net worth. That is your assets less your liabilities. No, that is the simple layman's way of looking at net worth. We know that, actually in accounting is more than that, but this is the basic calculation that anyone can use to know what is their own net worth without getting an accountant involved, without getting into too much discussions or too much talking or too much grammar. So that is what, okay. I don't understand what this person is saying. Okay, so I really don't know. Somebody is trying to connect to the live, but they're saying they can't see it. So I'm wondering what is happening. I'm wondering what is happening. Okay, I've sent them another link. Okay, so look at your assets. What are the things that put money into your pocket? That was how I defined assets, in the simplicity of how I could explain it. What are the things that put money into your pocket? Then the liabilities are what are the things that take out money from your pocket. So that was how we looked at assets and liabilities. And we said that your net worth is your asset less your liabilities. All the things bringing money to you, you take away all the things that are taking out the money from your pocket, and you would know your net worth. That tells you where you are. And from that point, you can now begin to plan. You can go into financial planning, you can go into budgeting, because you know where you are. You know your current position. Somebody cannot be saying, I want to go to Aba, and then you now ask them, they're asking you for directions to Aba, and you ask them, where are you? And they don't know. How can you give them direction? So it's essential that you know where you are. That was what we discussed in the first session in this series. In the second second session, we talked about setting realistic financial goals. Realistic financial goals. Okay, I don't know why this person cannot join the live. It's unfortunate. So, setting realistic financial goals. And these goals, we all set goals financially sometime or the other. But most times, the goals we set are not very realistic. They are so much, will I say, so much over our heads that we can't even achieve them. So we need to ensure that we are setting financial goals. And these goals kind of represent where we are going. We have talked about where we are. Now, the goals you set represent where you are going. And what helps you get there, of course, is the budget you now make. So it's essential that the goals you set, we all know is smart, goals. We've heard it probably 1,000 times that our goals should be smart. As our goals should be specific. You don't just say, I want to make money. You have to say, I want to make 500,000. I want to make 1 million. You have to make sure that those goals are measurable. You should be able to say, you know, I made half of that money, because it is measurable. The goals have to be achievable. There is no need setting goals that you can never achieve, that it doesn't help, especially financial goals, because at every point in time you don't achieve them, you feel worse and you feel I can't do this. So it's good to make the goals achievable. And one of the ways to make goals achievable is actually to break them down into smaller parts. Yes, you want to save 100 million naira, $100 million or whatever in 2025. What do you have to do by the end of each month? How much should you have saved at the end of each month to be able to have that amount you're looking for? So make sure your targets are achievable. Oh, I want to learn a new skill. I want to add this. Want to whatever that financial goal is. You want to increase your source of income by learning a skill and then monetizing that skill. Ensure that it is something achievable. Don't go and knowing that you don't have time, you go and target to learn 3 skills and then you wind up learning none. Okay, so let them be achievable. Then let those goals be relevant. Let them be relevant to what you're trying to achieve in that year. Let them be relevant and let them be time bound. 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, whatever the case may be, let them be time bound. Then we talked about establishing an emergency fund, because it will help you having like 3 months worth of your expenses saved up somewhere in case for any reason your source of income dries up. You have something to fall back on. Those are the things we discussed on the um, first, no, that was the second session. The third session, which was what we had last week, was we talked about sticking to a budget, preparing a budget and sticking to a budget. Now, we said that the first one was where are we currently? The second one was where are we planning to go? Now, to prepare a budget and to stick to a budget is how will we get there? That goal that we set, those financial goals, those financial targets that we set, how do we intend to get there? That is a budget. See, very simple. That is a budget. So ensure that your budget, if you're preparing a budget of your um, activities, don't just budget your expenses. What I see most people do is that we have the budget, but that budget is just for our expenses. We don't actually budget for our income. That is what I've seen. We just, list out all the monies we want to spend and how we want to spend it. How is the money coming? We don't budget for the income. In our minds, well, of course, I'm earning a salary, for example, so that is where the money is coming from. But sometimes that salary may not be enough. So, what is your plan in the situation that the salary is not enough? Or I'm a business person, I will sell goods and products. How many goods and products do you need to sell in order to meet your targets? How do you want to get from point A, where I am currently, to point B, where I want to go? From point A, my net worth today, to point B, the targets that I've set. How do I get there? Excuse me. So it's essential. It's essential that we have a budget. I mentioned one of the easiest and commonest budgets is a list when you're going to the market. We don't realize that that is a budget, but it's actually a budget because you have an income, how much you want to spend. That becomes your income, that how much money that you have to spend. And then you have the list of what you're going to buy. That is the simplest, commonest budget available. So a budget is just basically a list of what you want to spend money on based on how much you believe you will have. That is basically what a budget is all about. And we are told that if we want to budget, this is accounting principles, financial principles, that if we want to budget, we should use the 50, 30, 20 rule in budgeting. That is 50% of your needs. You should spend 50% of whatever you earn on your needs, not your wants. You spend 30% on your wants, and then you spend 20% to save, or maybe you have some debts to pay or whatever. Now that is the recommended budgeting ratios. But usually I tell people to tweak it a little. Yes, save that 20%, but one, don't let the savings just be money in the bank. Don't let the savings just be money in the bank, please. Ensure that in saving, you're saving in order to invest it in something so it can yield more money for you. So that 20% that you're saving, let it not just be you're keeping money in the bank somewhere, because that is actually just a waste of that money, truly, because the banks barely pay you any good interest on it. The money, you're not putting the money to work. Money has to be put to work. Money that is idle is almost useless, almost. So ensure that that money you're putting in that savings, you're saving it in order to invest it on something, or at least invest part of it, if not all. You can also save for some major purchases, let's assume, because that's part of what we're going to talk about today. There's some major life expenditures that might be coming up. You can save for those things, yes, but ensure that part of what you're saving will be invested. So you can increase that 20% to more than that, so that you do have that part that you're investing. All right, so today we are talking about planning for major expenses and also financial growth. I tell people always that if you don't put money to work, money will put you to work. If you don't send money on assignment, it will send you. That is the fact. And I think it's I've forgotten the name of this man. I've forgotten his name right now. That said, money does not come to those that need it. Money comes to those that will use it, those that will, invest it, those that will grow it. So if you're not growing money, most probably money will not come into your hands. So when I see situations where somebody is lacking money, the first thing I ask them is, are you growing even the little that you have? That little that you have or that you had, did you grow it? If you did not grow it, the tendency is that more money is not coming into your hands. This is not me cursing you. This is not me being negative. This is me telling you the truth. If you can't grow money, most probably money will not come to you. And I tell people that I used to be a servant to money, just like most of us. When I have money in my account, I'm happy. When I don't have money in my account, I'm sad. My day is spoiled. Things are not going well because there's no money in my account. I was the servant to money. But you need to graduate to a point where money is your servant. You send money on message. You send money on message. Okay. Neramu Amos, I can see you on Facebook. Chidi Otamiri, I can see you on Facebook. Thank you for joining me. Let me see if I can see who is on Instagram. Okay, I can't see who is on Instagram right now. So, but I can see Facebook. So please grow, learn to grow money. Learn to grow money. Invest it in something. You must not make huge returns right off the bat. You can start with things that give little returns, and then you will grow your money. All right, so we are talking about today, like I said, preparing for big expenses, major expenses in life, and then being able to experience financial growth even in the midst of that. Okay, so when I talk of large expenses, I'm thinking of things like you want to buy a house. Even a car can be a large expense depending on the car you want to buy. You want to go on vacation either by yourself with your family. You want to go back to school. Which other things can I think of now that would be major expenses, but there are things that are more than most times, like is more than your 1 month total income, more than your 1 month total income. So sometimes even more than 2 months total income. Mrs. Regina Obiagu, thank you. I can see you on Facebook. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So these are the major expenses I'm talking about. Things that most probably you cannot just bring out money and pay for right now. Probably because you just don't have that money right now, but you can prepare for it. You can prepare for it. Even if you have the money right now, it's not happening today, but it is something that will take a large chunk of your finances. So you need to properly plan for it so that it doesn't take you by surprise when it comes. When that expense needs to be made, you're now taken by surprise because you didn't prepare adequately for it. Okay, so some of the ways that we can prepare is to have what is called a sinking fund. A sinking fund is just a savings that you set apart for a specific purpose. That is the basic definition of it. So that is one of the ways to prepare for these large expenses. Set up a savings account where you put in money towards that large expense. Okay, so when you're preparing to make these large expenses, there's one thing that is very, very important. And that thing is that you must, how do I put it? You must identify really how much you need for that large expense. You can't just say, I'm planning for my wedding, for example. So I need to put money away for my wedding, and you don't have an idea how much it will cost you to do that wedding. Or, oh, I want to build the house. Even the Bible tells us that no one goes about building a house without counting the cost. So you can't say, oh, I want to build the house, I want to have my own house, and you don't sit down and consider how much it will cost you to build that house, how much it will cost you to start, from start to finish. So the first step is to truly have a clear budget. Set a clear budget for that expense. Don't even do, a general estimate. Try to be as close as possible to the actual cost of that expense that you want to embark on. Set a clear target. You can, okay, you want to go on vacation, depending on where you're going on this vacation, and to go on this vacation for flight, hotel, and the activities I want to do on this vacation, it will cost me 2 million, 3 million, 4 million naira. Try to have an idea. You can say, I can't say for sure, but you can have a good idea. You might not be able to say exactly, but you can get a good idea. Go on Google and Google how much flight is from here to wherever you're going. Have an idea. It might change before the day you're going, possibly, but have the idea. How much is hotel accommodation? How much is it to go on an excursion tour in that city? This kind of things. Get that idea. Set a clear budget for that expense. Is it your wedding? Think of all the cost, the venue, the food, photography, video, what have you, the clothes. Have a budget. Have a budget. I remember when my son wedded, okay, this is now, okay, yeah. I wanted to say December last year. It's actually December 2023. How time is flying. And they used an event planner. This lady had a budget for everything. She had it on a spreadsheet and she shared it with the couple, and they were, as each item is being taken off of the list, you could see it on her spreadsheet. So they had a budget of what it would cost them to carry out this wedding. And because they had, and they actually started early, because they had this budget ahead, they could begin to keep aside money for each item. And before you knew it, the wedding was done. So that is the first step. Have your set budgets. Set a clear budget for that large expense, for that major expense that you want to embark on. Have a set budget for it. Have a set budget for it. And there's one thing that we miss out when we are doing like a budget for all these major expenses. We forget that there may be some hidden costs involved. For example, what do I give as an example? Maybe there are some taxes to be paid in some of those things. You never know. Maybe there are some taxes and you didn't think about that, but you need to consider that there might be some hidden costs. Research will help you know and find out, some of these hidden costs for sure. Asking questions, ask people questions. They can help you. People that have wedded, they can help you discover, some of these hidden costs. Then always have like a contingency. There might be some last minute expenses that will come up as you're preparing your budget for this major expense that you want to do. So have it available. Remember those hidden costs. Try to research and try to add those hidden costs and be realistic with your budget. Please always be realistic with your budget. Don't follow the crowd. Do I say that because they did their wedding, like this? You don't have to do your own like that. Excuse me. Be realistic. Stick to what you can afford. If you cannot afford, for example, in the city of Port Harcourt, you can't afford to use what's the name of this hall? Aztec Ekrom. I mean, there are other halls that are cheaper. I think that Aztec is in the millions. You don't have to use Aztec. You don't have to. You can use a smaller hall and have it well decorated, and it will still serve the purpose. So be realistic with your budget. Ensure that your budget aligns with your income, aligns with even potential income. Don't go fixing budget that is out of this world just to meet up. Please be realistic with your budget. Be realistic with your budget and start early. I gave the example of my son. I think they started planning their wedding like a year before. Yeah, I think, yeah. About a year before the actual wedding, they had started planning it. So it wasn't, a burden on them. It wasn't a burden on them. It wasn't a burden on us, the parents, because 1 year earlier, the plans had started. And that starting early helped them because by the time they were wedding, the hall they used, the price had gone out of this world. But they've paid and they've booked it. They booked early. They have paid. The people couldn't come back and say, I have to pay extra now. They've paid. So that's why it's important to start early. You can have a dedicated savings account for this expense, just for the purposes of this expense. And if you do have a dedicated savings account, as much as possible, have a standing instruction that moves money from somewhere else to that account on a regular basis. Have that standing instruction. Don't wait till you move the money. I say this from experience. I've had situations where because I had to move money from here to a place, I'm saving it, and something comes up, and I'll be like, okay, I will move it later. And before you know it, I never did. So have a standing instruction, or there is no bank that does not honor standing instructions. Put it in writing, sign it, send to your bank. They will ensure that on the day you say, or the periods that you say, the money is moved from either your current account to your savings account. So you can have a dedicated savings account for those major expenses and automate it. Automate it. Automate it. I repeat. Don't wait till you do it yourself, go ahead and automate that process. Chioma Chonwa, thank you for joining me. I can see you on Facebook. Thank you for joining me. Kosman, I see you on Instagram. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. So plan for these things. Don't take it for granted. Start early. Start early. It reduces the pressure. Honestly, I use my son's wedding to give that example. It reduces the pressure. You don't find yourself running helter skelter for some things because you started in time, started early. So start early. Then look for ways to save money. Even as you already have a budget for that thing you want to do, you already have a budget for that expense you want to incur, still look for ways to cut costs without reducing the quality of what you're getting or what you're trying to do. For example, okay, let's take the vacation. Book your flights earlier. You know you want to go on vacation. Book the flights early. The flights are cheaper if they're earlier. So book your flights early. Take advantage of early discounts. Um, Travel in what they call off peak periods. Don't travel during the summer if you're going to like the Americas or UK or something like that. Flights are more expensive those times. You know, like when we used to go on family vacations, we tried to fix our vacations July, August. Now, it's still a bit peak, but it's not the peak period. We still had to align it to when our children will be out of school, but we didn't go, like June. June is always the peak period for summer vacations. So try to use that kind of way to save money. Flights, even the hotels are cheaper those times. So consider that. Um, let's assume that the expense is like a wedding, for example. Now, like I said, change the venue. You don't have to use Aztec. You don't even have to use LA Kings. What's the new name now? I can't even remember the new name here in Port Harcourt of LA Kings. You don't have to use any of those venues. They are good venues in town that you can find cheaper for you. So look for ways to cut costs. Okay, is it that you want to go back to school, for example? Check if maybe the school has grants, maybe they have scholarships. Look for things like that. Many people I know, they want to travel abroad for their masters, and they're calling thousands of dollars for you. Check if there are grants, check if there are scholarships. Look for it. If you look for, you will find. I am telling you. They are not always easily available, yes. They're not always easy to get, yes, but they are available. So look. If you don't look, you will not know. So that is an example of a way you could reduce costs for, like, if say the major expense you're planning for is you want to go back to school, for example, to do your master's. So look for those things. And then, I mean, you can also, going back to the example of school, you can look for maybe a side job to be doing to take care of part of the costs. You can look for that. It is very doable. Look for something you can be doing that will help you offset the cost of the schooling. Let's say that is the major expense. You want to build a house. What ways can you save money? Think about it. The thing is that if we don't think about it, we will not find. Think about it. If you buy the things you need to buy the house early, you can't save money because we know that the prices of things increase almost on a daily basis in this country where we are now. So buy the things early, buy in bulk, buy in bulk. These are the things that you can do that will help you. These are the things that will help you to reduce the cost. Um, Wobsacks, this Bishop shopper. I can see you on Instagram. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I always say that, I mean, you can do any other thing with your time, that you choose to be here. I am so appreciative of it. So thank you so much for joining me on Instagram. All right. What was I talking about? Okay, how to explore ways of cutting costs. It does not make you stingy that you're exploring ways to cut costs. It does not make you stingy. It doesn't. It doesn't. It does not. So explore ways to cut costs. Um, I know there's this trend now, when you're wedding, you get gifts for your chief bridesmaids, your bridesmaids, and your best man, and all the groomsmen. Good idea. Excellent idea. But you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get gifts for them. You must not. Nonso Vincent Okafor, thank you for joining me on Facebook. I can see you. You must not. You must not spend an arm and a leg. Look for how to cut down on some of those expenses. It does not make you cheap. It will not make your wedding any worse than it should be. It's how you see, your things will be how you want them to be. You can still have that society wedding that people will be talking about for days to come, because it's not go past days. Oh. You don't go past days to come. You can still have it, but you would have saved some money. Because after the wedding comes the marriage. Are people going to eat sand? So please look for ways to cut costs. Look for them. If you look, you will find. I say this, people, it's only because we don't look for these things that we don't find. Look for ways, you will find. Then as you have saved money, you have looked for how to save money, maybe in an account or what have you. Sorry, I don't know, mosquito is here. You can tell that I'm working in Nigeria, yes. So, and I don't know how to see mosquito and leave it to fly about. I have to try and, you know. So, all right. So now we've talked about saving for that major expense, but you know that it's important to save. Oh, you have to save, but you need to also be able to grow your money. So it's not just that you're saving money. Even that money you're saving for that major expense, you can grow it so that, after the expense you have a little extra. So you can also grow that money. Sorry, it's reflex. I got it this time. It's reflex. So it's important, after you have looked for how to save money, that if not a part of that money that you're saving, that you invest it so that you can grow the money. Because money that you just save and you're not growing, I don't know. I don't know. So ensure that you have ways to grow your money. Look for investment strategies, investment opportunities to grow your money. Don't just put money in the bank, please. Don't just leave money in the bank and it will just be there. Because it's not doing anything there. It's really not. How much interest are they paying you? I am terribly hot. Please excuse me. All right. So please look for ways to invest that money that you're saving. If not the whole, like I said, a part of it should be invested to grow it. Don't just pack money in the bank and keep it there. For example, you're planning that wedding and you've started a year ahead, even 6 months early. 6 months is late, but let's just say, you can still grow part of that money for the next 6 months, so that by the time the wedding comes up, you will have a little extra. You will have just a little change. So look for investment opportunities. They exist. Um, I'm really not an advocate of saving money in the bank, really. But you can, because some banks have what they call fixed deposits. They have fixed deposits, and a fixed deposit, at least the interest rate is a bit higher than just the normal putting money in the bank, the normal savings account that we all have. So you or utilize a fixed deposit account. That helps you make money. Yeah, it helps you. And one thing about some banks, I don't know if it's all banks that do this, they can actually give you the interest on that fixed deposit upfront. That money you're keeping with them for 6 months, 1 year, because it can be less than that. They can give you the interest on it upfront. You can use that for something else or whatever. You can now grow that. That is the beautiful part of that for me. Give me that interest upfront. I put it in something else and I grow it. So by the end of the 6 months or whatever, when I need to make the major expense, I still have my whatever money I kept aside. I still have it. But with the interest I received upfront, I've put it into something else and I've grown it and I've made more money. So fixed deposit is a way to grow your funds. It is. It actually is a way to grow your funds. But there are stocks and bonds. Our problem here is that when we look at bonds, especially federal government bonds, the interest rate is quite low. It's quite low. But your money is safe because no, your money is not going anywhere. Your money is safe. That money you put in federal government bonds, it is safe. And you will get that small interest no matter what, you will get it. So consider it is a way to save money, is a way to grow your money, is a way to grow your money. Stocks, like buying stocks in companies, is a way to grow your money. But see, that one you have to be more knowledgeable in order to grow your money with stocks, because you have to invest in company that has a future potential, growth potential. You don't just go and invest in a company that tomorrow they are dying or the company is closing down. So you need a bit more knowledge and information to grow your money that you put in stocks. I always hear the story of, I think, was it Apple? If I can remember, one of the initial investors in Apple decided to take his, share early because he didn't see the future. He didn't see the future of this business, and he took his money. I think it was $800. Today, Apple shares, I can't even buy one share at a time of Apple. For me to get Apple shares, I had to buy in bits. So that is, let me just talk about that. Many of us are like, we don't have enough money to do investing. You can, in stocks, you can actually buy in bits. There are companies like Bamboo that do it in Nigeria. There are companies like Bamboo. I'm sure of that. At least I know Bamboo. You open an account with Bamboo, you deposit money, you tell them the companies you want to invest in, and let's assume it's 5,000 only you have. They buy 5,000 naira worth of the shares of that company for you. It might be 0.000% of one, but it's a start. The next time you have another 5,000, you give them, they invest it. I think also, is it FBN something? They also allow you to invest in bits and pieces. So you don't have to wait. Then if you want Bamboo also, yeah, I believe it's Bamboo. You can invest in American stocks with Bamboo. I believe it's Bamboo. I hope I'm correct. You can invest in American stocks even with your Naira. That was what I was doing. So I have 0.0% of 0.1% or something of one Apple share. But as I increase the money I give them, my share is it the value of the quantity of the shares is growing. It's growing. So get open a Bamboo account. It works. There's another one, Robin Hood, but that one you have to be in America to do Robin Hood. You have to have an account in American bank. But Robin Hood also allows you to purchase shares in all these major companies with your little money. So you must not have all the millions to invest in shares. And they are not companies that tomorrow they are going to shut down. I've received, even though it sends dividend from Apple, from Walmart, from what was that other company that sent me dividends the other time? I can't remember right now, but it sends because my investment was small. But as it grows, I will soon begin to receive real money. So do that. Then you can invest your money in mutual funds. We have several companies now in Nigeria that do mutual funds. People are afraid of such things. I understand, but they do work. Their interest might not be massive, but it's a way to keep money and let that money be making small, 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 small money. You have AXA Mansard. You have which other one? Of this investment mutual companies that do mutual funds in Nigeria. It's only AXA Mansa that's coming to my mind now, but there are several. So look for them, invest. Another way that you can grow your money is real estate. Real estate. Purchase some property. There is no way you will buy a property today and in, let's just say, 1 year's time, it has not increased in value. It's rare. It is so rare. So purchase real estate is a way to, grow your money. I know of Capital City Investment, Capital City Development. They allow you to pay small, small. So if you don't have the whole 1.5 million that the plot of land costs, for example, you can pay each month until you complete. So there's nothing that's stopping you from being a landowner. Nothing is stopping you from being a real estate mogul. Nothing. Purchase real estate. If you have quite a lot of money to put in, purchase a lot. Then begin to sell off later when you need money back. Real estate. The another thing is to look for in a business you can invest in. An agricultural business. I think we overlook agriculture a lot in this part of the world, but there is money in it. I remember last year, yes, last year, I had spinach and water leaf in my backyard. I'm saying these two specifically. I had other things, but spinach and water leaf. And my neighbor came that she can take this to the market and sell it. I didn't even think of selling it. I was only growing it to use. I was only growing the one I'll be using in my house because I was juicing, all this ogo and everything for my husband. So I didn't even think of selling the ugu spinach. I had basil, I had Cuban oregano. Which other leaf did I have at that back? Of course, olubu is basic, And I never thought to sell because my mind was I am juicing a lot, so I need these vegetables. But she came and she was like, I can sell some of these things in the market. I wouldn't, I told her, oh, yeah, cut some and sell. And she sold and gave me my money. It's not big money, but you can imagine if I continued that. It's an investment because I bought the things, I bought the seedlings I planted. I bought the fertilizer I put on it, natural fertilizer. I bought the bags I used to plant them to start. It was an investment, it's money that I put in there. And that money grew because I sold a part and made some money. Imagine if I concentrated and ensured that I kept on harvesting and then selling. Or you can invest in another person's agricultural concern. Honestly, agriculture is a good investment. But when you're not investing in another person's own, you have to look at the person, not the agriculture. The business is a good business. It's the person you need to consider, the person that you're trying to invest in their business, even if it's not agriculture. Another business that somebody is doing, just look at some businesses that people are doing. I understand perfume oil has a lot of profits. Invest in someone that is doing that. But in such things, you have to ensure that you have a solid agreement, how you're getting your money back, how you're receiving interests. Solid agreement. There is no sisterhood, brotherhood, family. No, it doesn't exist. Write it down, have an agreement with the person. This is how these monies will be refunded, or this is how I'll be taking my profit when you're investing in somebody's business. So these are ways. Um, One thing too is to ensure that you diversify your investments. Don't put all your money in stock, or put all your money in real estate, or put all your money in the farming. Put your money in different things, so that the day this one is not earning, this other one is. The day there is a slowdown in, let's say, stocks, your real estate is giving you money. The day, for any reason, there's a slowdown in the real estate, the agriculture is there. So diversify your investment. Do not put everything in one place. They say never put all your eggs in one basket. Do not put all your money in one investment. Spread it across different options. Spread it across different options. Now that you have saved money, you have invested part of the money, you have grown it, you need to protect it. You need to protect it. We don't generally look at this aspect of it in this side of the world, because I don't even know how to explain it now, but we don't usually bother. We don't usually bother. And that is insurance. We don't insure our properties. We don't insure anything. We really don't. Um, in Nigeria now, we have health insurance. Of course, we have life insurance. We insure our vehicles. We insure our properties. But many of us don't take it seriously. But it is a way to protect that which you're investing in. Is a way to protect. Um, I mean, God forbid, nobody wants to have fire incidents. Nobody wants to have, you know, um, loss of property through theft or anything. Nobody wants to have any of those things. Even as a business person, you can insure your goods, so that if you're against burglary and what have you and theft, if God forbid you have one of these, staff that has evil thoughts, evil mind, and they steal from you, the insurance will pay. But usually we think of it in the way of, I'm paying all this premium and nothing has happened. But what if something happens? So consider insuring um, your let's say your assets. Ensure you're protecting yourself from unforeseen financial burdens. So that is what insurance does for you. Um, then you can do what is where you can plan your estate. Now, I'm very careful when I talk about this, because people think that when you talk about estate planning, that is writing your will, you're ready to die. But you're not. It doesn't mean that you're ready to die. It just means that you're putting things in place so that if you go, your dependents are taken care of. Nobody knows. We cannot say when we are going. Excuse me. Let me get some water, please. You can't say when you will go. So you can put a will in place. Take it to the lawyer, have it done properly. So that if tomorrow you are not there, that or those investments in real estate will not be lost. Not be lost. If you can do your will and have it as, I've forgotten the legal word now. I don't know why it's escaping me. But have it done properly. You will not have dispute. Well, sometimes people still dispute wills, but generally, when everything has been done, it works out well. If you can, even after you have done your will, if you can, like as a man that has properties and that has children and has sons and what have you, if you can, before you die, share those things. Let each person know. Like, call all your children, tell them what is in your will. My father did that. And people are like, I'm like, honestly, it made me. I've always loved my dad. That one is, my mom is here. She can testify. She's on Facebook. But that singular act, oh my God, it set him apart for me once again. So it's not that you're preparing per se, you're not calling death to come, but you're ensuring that those that are left behind, those that are left behind, they have something. You're ensuring that all the investments that you did will not be lost. Because if we had waited, let's assume my father did not do what he did. This is how many years after he died now? It's almost, not two, I've been getting on 3 years now, sir. He died. We have not been able to sort out all the probate issues. So if we are waiting on all those things, how and let's assume things were not so okay, how would we be by now? How would we be managing? So put your house in order. Put your house in order. Yes, you have saved money and you have grown the money. Put checks in place to ensure that that's your fortune that you have amassed will not be lost if they look for you tomorrow. Whether you're a man or a woman, generally it's men. We men, we don't like to do will. We don't want to agree that we have anything. That is why we don't do will. We don't want to agree that we have properties. But even you that is a woman, you have something somewhere, even if it's no matter how small. Sometimes we think, what do I have? Is it not just maybe one piece of land I managed to buy? Mm, is enough. Is enough to protect. Is enough to protect. So go ahead and do that. Do your will. There's also something people do. They set up trust funds. If you have massive um, assets, you have a lot of assets, you can set up a trust fund for your young children so that, if you are not there, they will be taken care of. So, in applying these things that we have said today, ensure that you identify those upcoming big expenses. Ensure you identify them, budget for them, create a savings plan, a plan that will help you save up for those large expenses. Explore investment opportunities that will help you grow the money, because it's like I said, don't just save money and put it in the bank and leave it there. Look for a way to grow it. Look for a way to grow the money. Then secure yourself with either insurance or estate planning or what have you. Don't leave it to chance. Secure yourself. Financial success truly comes from planning. There's no two ways about it. It comes from planning. So start today. If you have not done so before, you've never had a plan, you've never bothered, start today. It's not too late. Start today. You can still have the future of your dreams, as they say. You can still have the future of your dreams. Start today. Put a plan in place. Stick to the plan. And your future self will actually thank you for it. Your future self will thank you for starting today. Your children, whether they are here now or they are to be, they will thank you for starting today. Okay, just wanted to check if there are any comments on Instagram. So I think that is what I have for us today. And this is actually the end of our series on financial planning and budgeting. From next week, we'll go into something else. I think it's resilience, if I remember well. I think so. I think next week we start talking about resilience because I mean, we have secured our finances, we have done what we need to do. We now need to look at how do we remain resilient in the face of issues. Yeah, I believe that's what it is. I can't find where I wrote this thing down right now, but I think that is what the next topic is. But anyway, as usual, you will see the flyer. I'm trying to open my notes here and it's taking forever to open. That's why I can't see. Um, it's taking forever to open. I don't know why. Technology. Technology. This is it. Sometimes it has a mind of its own. Okay, yes, resilience, building resilience in the face of change. That is what we are going to talk about. Yes, yes, yes. After, as we are finished talking about financial planning and budgeting. Yep. So we're going to talk about starting next week, building resilience in the face of change. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for this series. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that I've helped you in some way as we started off this year. I've helped you in some way to set solid financial targets, to make solid financial plans, and to try and stick to them. That's the most important thing, is actually sticking to the plans that you have made. It's not just to make the plans, but to stick with the plans that you have made. Thank you for joining me once again. It's always an honor to have each and every one of you. Like I said, I don't take it for granted that you take this 1 hour to be here, whether you join live or you catch the replay. I don't take it for granted. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for always being there. Remember to follow us on all our social media handles, Instagram, Growth Habits with Ngozi, Facebook, Growth Habits with Ngozi, as well as my personal Facebook page, Ngozi Omocholoba. We're on TikTok, Habits with Ngozi. We are still trying to understand the terrain of TikTok. But we will get there. We're on YouTube, Growth Habits with Ngozi. So ensure that you follow me in everywhere. Everywhere that I am, go there. Yes, we are starting a series um, for, I think it's from March, if I can remember properly. Yes, yes, we're doing a 21-day transformation program. It's called Rise and Renew. 21 days of transformation. Um, it's supposed to start on the 1st of March. Um, each day we'll have a group where this happens. It's not live sessions or anything. Each day we will share a scripture. So know very well this is a scripture based something. We'll share a scripture focus. We'll have reflection questions. We'll have practical application for the thing we talked about that day. Then we'll have the prayer and affirmation for you to pray and speak. So there will be a group set for that specifically. But this Rise and Renew 21 Days Transformation Program is not free. There is a commitment fee, because I want to ensure that when you join that group, you won't just join and then be an onlooker throughout the 21 days. When you know that your money is there, you will put in some efforts. I've seen that when you do things free, sometimes people, especially something that is long like this, people are like, I beg, let me just see what they're doing. So it's a very small, it's just a commitment fee, really, and it's 1,500. I will put up the flyer after this live session. I'll put up the flyer along with details of how you can be part of this 21 days of transformation. rise and renew. All right. What else do I want to tell us? Our book is still available on Amazon because of, okay, I guess I could also put, okay, after the session, usually when I go live straight from Facebook, I do put up the link for the Amazon and the seller shop where the journal is available and the book. Also, my mentorship programs are still available. The seller link, I will post all at the end of this live session. Click on it, go to seller, select the mentorship session you are interested in, pay, and I will get back to you and we will start the mentorship. All right. Thank you all once again for joining me this afternoon. Remember to make today and every day count. Be valuable in all you do and ensure that you grow. Thank you all so much and see you all next week, Tuesday, right here on Growth Habits with Ngozi. Remember, the time is 12 noon, Tuesday. Yes, every Tuesday, unless something happens that makes us shift it. But it's every Tuesday right here on Facebook and Instagram live. See, I keep forgetting that I'm now live on Instagram, Facebook and Instagram live. See you next week for session 97, and we begin a new series on resilience. Thank you so much and have an awesome day. Bye.